Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing this fine Saturday, the 19th? Am I live here? What's going on? What is going on? Here we go. All right, there we go. How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining me on this fine Saturday, April 19th morning, U.S. time, afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Good to see everybody. I'm Sean. I like tabletop RPGs. Been playing and running them for a little while. Joined by the best RPG chat in the world. Today we're going to be talking about mashups. Mashups! Ryan West was here early. Good to see you, Ryan. Whoops, that's me. Sorry. Joe, good to see ya. Shambot. All right, doing some roll call. Hoos, early morning. Mike's up for some mashup action. Gabe, morning. Tad, good morning. Victor, morning. Everybody's good morning. Lots of mornings. Jeff, morning. Thanks for joining, everybody. Jason96, good to see you. Blake, thanks for the sound and audio check. Warming up the mics. Todd, good morning. Good to see you. Anubis, afternoon. All right, Ear Trumpet, morning, good evening from Australia. You and Blake. You guys live next to each other and probably on the same street, I'm guessing, because Australia's pretty small. Jake, good to see you. Morning. Tyler, morning. Good crowd. Wayne, morning. Jim, morning. Adrian, good morning. All right. Zeal 1111901. Mobile Army Surgical Hospitals. Orcus Dorcas. Smurfs, smash them, boil them, stick them in a stew and some Cthulhu calamari rings. Delish. Good to see you, Orcus Dorcas. I had a question that I was going to ask to warm you up a little bit. Now it's completely erased it. Flew out of my brain, flew out of my head. Maybe it'll come to me as I take a sip of this refreshing beverage. Imagine you did a Kickstarter a year or two ago and you're trying to deliver it right now. And it's sitting on a boat and you're facing I don't know what it's going to increase to. Is it 20%, 100%, 120%? Like what is, I don't even know what the number is. But I got to say, says something about long crowdfunding campaigns. Am I right? Ooh-wee. Get it done in the now. If you can. Man, can you imagine? So Exalted Funeral yesterday, a few days ago, this past week, sent out an email. If you're on their email list, you probably got it. And, they are doing Dolmenwood, amongst others. And they vowed not to increase costs, but they're going to delay shipments. So I'll ask that question just quick. You have a crowdfunding campaign that is done. Everything's finished. The books are done, but they are in the midst of shipping them to you. You filled out your little survey thing. It didn't go into spam, and you have to backtrack and wonder if you missed that email amongst the 50,000 emails that BackerKit sends you. Jaded much, Sean?
Right.
Would you? And I know this is going to be a depends answer, but would you pay more? Like, hey, this is Exalted Funeral. We know you kicked in for Dolmenwood or whatever. This is insert publisher. You crowdfunded insert product. It's done. It's finished. You have the PDFs, right? They've been delivered probably 6 months ago. waiting for the physical product, and they say, due to the landscape and the tariffs, we have two choices. One, you can wait 6 to 12 months, maybe 3 to 12. I don't know how optimistic to be. Or you can kick in the extra price and we'll get it delivered to your door. And I know the extra price is going to be, well, it depends, Sean. If it's only $5, then sure. But if it's like double the cost of the items, so a $60 book is now going to run you total all in $120. Say that is worst case scenario. Are you waiting, or are you chipping in? I don't know how these companies are going to do it. I really, really don't. There was a post on our Discord about a company, I don't know, I can't remember the company name. I don't know if they were really into board games. I thought Tabletop Bellhop, Mo Tusino, and Sean had posted it. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it's a game store, if it was a publisher, but they're just like, we're closing our doors because we can't make any money. Can you just imagine, like, $1 million Kickstarter, and you are going to be in the hole, deep, because you've probably used some of that to do the product, and you've probably used some of that to keep the lights on, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy times. I don't know, man. It's and not only that, but now do you do a crowdfunding campaign? Like those that are still doing crowdfunding campaigns, like, yep, we're gonna launch this. Like Modifius just put out that they're gonna do Might and Magic. Would you do that? I mean, unless you've got some pretty good infrastructure. I also got an email from Troll Lord Games, and it can be done. We're going to do it. We have our own print shop. We just are expanding into I don't know if they said a 4,000 square foot space or an additional space or additional acreage that they're buying from Lowe's or renting from Lowe's. So they must be next to a Lowe's or something, or Lowe's owns the land. I don't know what that detail is, and it was a long email from Steven Schnall. Steven's a great guy. They're down in Arkansas. Troll Lord Games, manufacturers and publishers of Castles and Crusades, amongst other things. I wish a prettier newsletter. No offense, Steven, but man, come on, dude. And they're gonna keep on trucking. And they even put it in their newsletter like, hey, if you are somebody that needs help, maybe we'll be able to help you. So, can you imagine being Troll Lord Games like Castles and Crusades, and then they just do print for RPG industry? They just change their business? I don't know. Anyways, Mike's excited about the Smurfing, excited for the Smurf chat. Well, it's not all going to be Smurf. It's just an example. Yeah, Vanilla Coke. Yeah. Hey, William, good to see you. Liquid Death. I know I get grief for this because it's so expensive, but, hey, cheers, Hobbsy. Tariffs would utterly smurf me and my bottom line. Oh, I think I created a monster in Mike. Yeah, that update was brutal. I feel for them, says Reading Aid. It looks like a few of us are on the same list. Books are exempt, supposedly, so unless you had stretch goals with goodies, but who knows what happens tomorrow. Books are they classified as books? That's the question. I mean, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks. I don't know. I haven't read all of the articles on tariffs, and I don't mean to bring this up and it's just who's tired of hearing about all this crap, right? Seriously. But there is articles on EM World. I don't know where they're getting their info. If they're just doing their own research and saying, "Hey, don't sweat it. It's a game or it's a book. It's not a game." Board games are going to be really sucking wind because it's pretty defined, like box, stuff in box. So if you have an RPG as a box set, you might be in some trouble because, well, that's not a book, although there are books inside, right? So I just want to, let's get some reputable news. Not that EN World is not reputable by any means, and I don't know if they did it themselves. And even Rascal has done some details on it. Rascal's got some journalists, I would say, that dig into stuff and could get into that. But it's maybe. It's kind of like this maybe. Well, it shouldn't be. Well, what is it? Like, it's pretty simple. Like, what classification are those things going to fall into? Or have fallen into? It's very easy, I think. RPG book, they come in. I think they've been hit with tariffs. They're not free to import into our country, right? In the U.S. I got to imagine, like China, like it's not an open, free, 0-0 trade, right? Ever, I don't think. So there's a classification of it. So what is the tariff on that classification, right? I'm another armchair quarterback, but it's like, am I simplifying this too much? It's not going to change. That's one way to curb my RPG buying habit. Well, yeah, I'll wait till they're on the shelf. But it's hard. Like if you're a small publisher, Free League just did a $2 million Kickstarter. Shadowdark did a $2 million Kickstarter. Free League is interesting because I know they printed in Lithuania for some of their products. Some of these folks are big enough to have distribution centers in the U.S. and Europe and Asia. But man, I don't know. But there's lots of angst for sure. It's warming others in the future. Forget the stupid add-ons. Just finish the books and get them to your backers. Jason 96 depends. You know the deal. Dolmanwood, I know, right? It's really a rough time to be a publisher. Never exactly been a smooth hayride through paradise, but it's cluster Smurf now more than ever, Todd says, who is from Broken Ruler Games, by the way, in Canada. All a factor on desire and cost, so it just depends on whether you want it or not, I guess, right? Adrian says I'd wait. Okay, let me follow up with Adrian because he's like, hey, I'd wait for it. Waiting, I know some people that are like, if I have to wait, the excitement fades. And then when I get it, it's like, wah, wah. Is that you, Adrian? Do you feel that the luster, kind of the polish is dulled over time when you don't have it right away? Because it's like one thing to like, well, it's going to take a long time. We get it. Oh, the author's sick. There's a delay. Okay, just let us know. But it's going to get here. Well, now, who the hell knows? What is to say, not Exalted Funeral or Gavin Norman by any means, but who's to say they just like, we can't do it? Now, they got to do it because it's already done. But like say he didn't have it to the printer yet. Right? And it was a few $1 million Kickstarter. Like, I'm just going to hang it up. Blake says, yes, willing to pay more, about $50 US, sympathetic, but not a bank. Yeah, well, right. If it's double, I wait. So that's the threshold for Joe. Okay. Flint Fireforge, good morning. Sentinel Comics, thanks, Gabe. So Gabe's correcting me and enlightening me on the company that went out of business. Flint, good to see ya. I'll wait and play off the PDF. Until then, well, here's another option. Take the PDF and get it printed at Lulu. Nah? I brought this up with the Thursday night group that I play with. I'm like, go PDF, get it printed by Lulu. I mean, it's still going to be more, but at least you'll get it. As a matter of fact, you can get a PDF from some of these crowdfunding campaigns very quick, right? Like a month or two after it's done, the PDF is done. They just have to get the printing logistics and shipping and all that and delivery all done, which takes a lot of time. So in defense of creators, it's not always them. Like they could have a book fully baked, right? But they got to go and get it printed, and that's why they crowdfund it. Right. They need it's a pre-order. So they know the numbers that they need printed. They're going to print a little extra for inventory and mail order after the fact. But you get the PDF. I'm going to zip that sucker off to Lulu. It's going to cost you probably almost the same, maybe a little less to print it. Might not be like the same. There's options. And then you get it shipped to you. And then you pay your own shipping, which could be, $10 or something, maybe $10 to have it delivered. So even if it was a $60 print and $10 to deliver, that's the same. I think it's going to be a little more, but Yeah, as much as I want to maintain my professional integrity, if I was an independent crowdfunder, I would not take out a second mortgage to cover the insanity of the administration. For sure. Jeff, I can't imagine the existential dread that crowdfunders are experiencing right now, since these are games, not artificial hearts. Shut down and wait for the world to change? Not that. I put the question in there. My heart goes out to every business that ends up closing its doors due to this change in global economics. Yeah, for sure. I'm good to wait because there are so many volatile things happening currently. I think saving my cash right now would be a good thing. I don't know if, says Jake Hartman. Wayne says, I don't know if waiting is an option. Printers have long schedules too. You may have to start over. Oof. High production values and costs for TTRPGs have finally caught up with the industry, though it doesn't mean an end, just the end of an era of wall-to-wall full-color hardcovers, says Todd. Golden age. Right? Are we done? Is it over? I feel in general, even before this landscape, that many Kickstarters crowdfunders, ran too close to the wire on their costs and even time. Jason 96. So you're saying the tariffs are working, as in making America make things in America? Well, the problem is nobody can do it. And then even then, the cost is going to be so crazy exorbitant. But I sense tongue-in-cheek with the 3 question marks, Jason. I just picked up a couple cases of Liquid Death on sale. Good for you. Awesome. Ryan West. Enjoy. Cheers. Reading double the price. I'd wait, but I would chip in some additional money if it meant keeping the lights on. We got to think, too, like, it's such a weird industry we're in. It's so weird. Right? We're anti-corporate, but these guys need to make money. They're not charities. Well, but some of them are friends. Like they got a day job and they live down the street from me. They're just like a normal, no offense, Swick, Joe. Or Jane. Oh, I wonder where slipcases land. Yeah, exactly, Nubis. As for a background, I got to get to the topic, but we got to wrap this one up. I didn't mean to go down this storm, but it's got to be, it's talked about everywhere, and I haven't brought it up in any depth. But, some of these newsletters are heartbreaking, man. I don't know if I were them, I wouldn't know what to do. I would be losing my mind. I would probably be an alcoholic. Right? Orcus, as for a backer, I would simply wait and ask for permission to have a cheap stand-in copy printed from Lulu or Staples if I needed a physical copy for play. Yeah. And if you wait to ship, says Tad, you are now paying months of storage fees. Right. And that sucks. That's going to hit their bottom line. They're going from like a $2 million Kickstarter. Maybe they're making, I don't know, 10%. Maybe it depends on their margin and what kind of costs they incur. But some of these crowdfunding campaigns, they're not windfalls. Dave Beatty lost money on Weird Frontiers. And hopefully he's making it up after the release, right? But, he encountered costs he didn't anticipate. And just imagine being now like, oh, okay, well, I can't deliver them because it's going to cost too much to import. So I'll just put them in a storage locker. Well, that's going to cost money. Might not be as much, but, you got a few pallets of books. Got to put them somewhere. You don't bring them to my house. Like, I don't have any room here. While you're waiting for your Kickstarters, don't forget to click like. Thanks, Blake. Appreciate it. I count on you, buddy. There's a risk I heard about where if a book has a list of requirements to play, including dice, it could be classified as a game. Little details like that could make or break. For sure. Thanks, Todd. Yeah. Ryan West, remember when we didn't wake up every morning wondering if the economy had completely collapsed or World War III had started? Oh, God. Dude, we're such nihilists. We're going to be positive. My positive force slogan is like starting to get rusty. Suits. Buy PDF. For me, this is the way. Even before tariffs, I only have so much shelf space. Yeah. Alien RPG has cards, right? Well, they got miniatures now and cards. I think they're implementing in the new crowdfunding campaign. Yeah, Shambot says, and minis. Adrian says, I get excited. So he's following up with my ask. I get excited when the books arrives. Haha. Even if it adds 12 months, that'd suck, but it's okay. All right. Fair enough. Brett would lose his mind for my old co-host who was here last week. It surprises me. All I got to do is say Brett 3 times and he'll appear in the chat. Ear Trump would given gifted membership. Who is it? Awesome. Doc Flamingo, congratulations. Gifted membership by Ear Trumpet. Thanks, Ear Trumpet. Much appreciated. Congrats, Doc Flamingo. As long as I don't get 5 emails a day and I end up with a product someday, it's all good. All right. I mean, we're pretty flexible. I think so, right? Like, I think we're pretty reasonable. There's checkboxes to being that reasonable, though, right? PDFs are not a solution. Some don't have the equipment, don't have the equipment that the read or transport. Some cannot read from a screen without physical issues. Also, books don't turn off when their battery runs low. Oh boy. Okay. Okie dokie. Dorcas's house is powered by natural gas and lanterns, oil lanterns. In California, mind you. The almond road has already been delayed 6 months. Can you imagine making that list at the end of this year? Like, do they take the cake on EN World for being the longest crowdfunder to deliver? John Caldwell, good to see you, John. Welcome. I've only backed a couple of big comic things. It took a long time as it was. I'd probably do what was best for the creator. Guy speaking from his heart. Please tell me Sean's wife is currently wearing a t-shirt that says podcaster's wife. I don't think she'd admit that. I know. I'll get to the smash mashup. Hold on a second. Gabe Dibbing, I think RPG books face something. Chivalry and Sorcery is looking to absorb the tariffs for the upcoming Dux Bellorum, Age of Arthur. It's just a mess. I'm in Australia. I tend to get PDFs to avoid the hellish postage. And frankly, I appreciate the perspective from folks outside of the U.S. Because you guys, we're the entitled ones, right? we're the Karens of the RPG world. No offense, Karen. I love Karens, right? Like women named Karen and not the attitude. I'm getting into hot water if I go into too much into that space. But my point is, some of us Americans are like, what? Come on, man. What the hell? And, you got folks like Canadians, Australians, Europeans that are like, give me a freaking break, man. In order to get your like $60 rulebook, I got to pay $120 to get it to my desk already. And that's before the current craziness. So I appreciate that. Like, hey, time out, America. Just an FYI. Here's how the other parts of the world kind of have to experience. It's a good idea printing yourself. I did that with the Rohan book for Adventures in Middle Earth when the company suddenly closed. I want to have Jeff on the show. Some of you have met Jeff. Some of you know of Jeff. Some of you have no idea who Jeff is, other than maybe a friend of yours. But he's a close friend of mine. He's the guy I've known the longest, that isn't family. And that guy, he reprints books. And he's done it for me. I've told a few people on the Discord. I might have even brought it up here before on stream. But what he does is he'll take a PDF, like Castles and Crusades we're playing. So he took the player's handbook for Castles and Crusades and relayed it out completely. Put in all kinds of old school art. And I say old school as in like Caldwell, Elmore, Easley, Parkinson, even Tramp and some of those folks and Sutherland, and just took all the old D&D art that made him warm and fuzzy from the olden days, right? And he relayed out Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook and got it reprinted at Lulu. And I'll tell you what, if you had it on your shelf, you wouldn't know it until you pulled it off and looked at a different cover and different interior. Like, and he did it for me for Star Trek. He's like, here, and he's like, here's a gift, you know. I'm like, what? First of all, where do you find the time? Well, he's retired. But he did it for Star Trek for me. And I want to go through a page by page. Like, literally the title of the YouTube channel is an RPG you know, but you will never have, because it's unique. Nobody has this book, but it's an RPG. And he took Prime Directive, right? The Steve Jackson's Prime Directive, which is the Star Trek equivalent, which I found out was an interesting, how they got that made, just this past week. Harrigan, I think, mentioned it, and how they got that. And then he put in FASA artwork and artwork from and photographs from the movie. And he took and put in, like, even, I think, core GURPS or sci-fi. The sci-fi and Prime Directive, I think, went together for GURPS and put all those in one book. And I'll tell you what, it's freaking top notch. I'm not a fan of GURPS. You know, it's not like my go-to system, but he thinks, to him, it's the best system for Trek. Not that's debated, you know, to be debated here, but it is something. Like, late to the chat, plan to have my PDF available after the Kickstarter ends. We'll be using POD through drive-through. There you go. Wayne, the fact is that people who decide in the process itself has room for arbitrariness. Big words. And in the madman whose hand is on the switch, I'd wait, but God knows how long. Yeah. I'm sliding even deeper into digital only. I'll get books from EU stores now and support EU Kickstarters. It was expensive before. If it gets even more expensive, I'll have to actually run games. At some point, I will have to charge my players. Oh, right? The tariffs would take years to work, and Trump has 3 3/4 left before his term ends constitutionally. Well aware. And if anyone says Trump can get around it to get a third term, no, those are pretty close tight. All right, well, let's not divulge into that. Haster Brett. All right, let's stick to tariffs and leave the rest of the politics out. Yeah, for sure. Let's not it's a slippery slope, so let's not get too crazy. I don't want to talk about that. Star Wars Deadlands, we deal in lead, all pretty good examples of good mashups. Let's get into mashups, right? Let's get into that quick. Thank you for everybody. I didn't mean to get everybody's blood boiling, but now that's a limited edition. It is. I will show you. I will show it. I don't know if I'll do it on a stream, but I will do a video on it. I'd like to interview Jeff and like do a video of how he does it. And I think it's, some ideas. I learned what Lulu is today. Seriously, Jason, you didn't know who Lulu was? Well, welcome. Good. Here you go. Fantastic. Yeah, check out Lulu. There's some books that you can actually buy, I think, direct out of Lulu. Like, I don't know if they have a storefront, but like the White Hack, like you want to buy the White Hack, you click it and it goes to Lulu, and then you buy the print. Osric might be also similar. I don't remember. So some of them are already laid out for Lulu. You don't have to like futz around with anything. Jeff is a machine, a very odd machine. Yeah. That's all right. He went to C2E2 dressed up as Captain Kirk and did a really good job. He did a good cosplay. So live Prime Directive on shelf. Okay, let's talk about mashups kind of as we filter off of this. So mashups, what is a mashup? How do we define a mashup, right? So what I'm talking about is like, it could be rules and like a base rules and setting, maybe, and then turning it on its head, maybe, right? Or, the example on the thumbnail is like Smurfs, Call of Cthulhu, right? And some people are like, ooh, and they all start to shake and they get this weird twitch and they're like, mashups. Well, I bet you would be surprised at how many people have probably played a mashup by default. Deadlands, like all the Weird Wests, weird, World War II, weird wars, right? World War II meets horror or whatever, Call of Cthulhu. Cohors Cthulhu, mashup, right? Romanesque, Call of Cthulhu. I mean, Delta Green could be potentially kind of, it's kind of, I mean, it's more Call of Cthulhu, which, it's just modern day. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to play Smurfs in the world of Call of Cthulhu. But nonetheless, have you played a mashup? First of all, do you enjoy mashups? Do you appreciate them? Do you enjoy them? Do you think they're interesting? Or do you does it make your skin crawl and make some nerves in your body start to twitch? Kristen, good morning. Just in time, buddy. Just in time. Mashup. Someone mentioned running a Star Wars one-shot in Feng Shui, and it feels like the best mashup I've heard. Bam! Ooh, that would be kind of cool. Mashups. Chess Trek says, I ran a con game of Warhammer 40K. Friendship. If Heresy about 10 years ago at a con. All the main My Little Pony characters were servants of the immortal Sun Empress, Celestia. And epic adventures were had that day, I must tell you. That's awesome. Mike, I did World War II Cthulhu, Deadlands, mashups, one shot for some friends that was well received. But those themes are not too different, so they blend well. Mashups. Thanks, Mike. Blake, mashups played a mix of riffs and Mechaton Zeta. It was a freaking mess. Completely different characters with no reason to work together at the start or later. Mashup a genre? Specific settings, IPs, rules? Indeed, man. Indeed. Jim. Test Trek, I also ran a game of Muppets Take Innsmouth. It was essentially the Shadows over Innsmouth runs with Trail of Cthulhu rules and Muppet characters. So, Test Trekkie, Michael Brown used to make the con circuit a lot in Wisconsin. He was part of the Dead Game Society. I lost track of where he is or what he's doing. And I've mentioned this on stream before. And at game, once you saw him at a convention and understood who he was and what he was running, every game would be hard to get for his. It's like Carl Kiesler. If you don't know who Carl is, he's a Savage Worlds guy that's a graphic designer. So his games are really high production, one shots at game conventions. And I bring this up because Michael Brown, my experience with it, I've played in at least 3 of his games. The first one was Murder on the Love Boat. So everybody would have lays and then their name tags, and you play the crew of the Love Boat. D20 Call of Cthulhu. And he dressed up. He had a big plastic ship, like a play school plastic toy ship, which was the Love Boat. And all the little meeples were the play school meeple things. And he dressed up as Captain Stubing as the game master. And he had the wig, the bald wig with the hair around the fringe on the sides. Just all out. He also did Kissastrophe, and he would dress up as Gene Simmons. And you played Kiss, members of Kiss, the rock band, Marvel Phaser Rip. TSR Marvel Superheroes Phaser Rip. And it was like the night at the Phantom of the Park or whatever that they put out way back in the 70s. And then in one of his other ones, to your point, he did D20 Call of Cthulhu, Nightmare on Sesame Street. The character sheets looked like they were done in crayon, and each player had a character from Sesame Street hand puppet that you would talk through. And he dressed up as Gordon, I think his name was. I don't remember, bell bottoms and pinstripe vest or shirt with a vest. And yeah, those were the ones. And then I think he did a Marvel one, and I can't remember what what that was. Personally, not a fan of mashups like My Little Pony meets Transformers, because I had to do that growing up to play with my sister, but mashing up other systems with other settings, Smurf, yes. Thanks, Todd. Scooby Thulu. That's a good one. I like it, Victor. And I think it's probably safe bet that they're probably not great long-term campaigns. Mini arcs, maybe 2-3 sessions, definite one-shots, right? Shadowrun? Right. Mashup. Good point. Cyberpunk plus fantasy. Played and ran, had some great games, and there's tons of people that play Shadowrun. I would be, it wouldn't surprise me if people played Shadowrun and they hate mashups. It's Shadowrun's not a mashup, dude. I like how people have used other systems to run Shadowrun, or even all the various D&D hacks out there. Maybe. World War II Superhero 2, right, is a pretty good concept as well. Yeah, godlike. I play a Shadowrun now, so that too is a mashup, Mike says. Yeah, Rifts is the ultimate mashup, says Tim. I've never played Rifts. I love mashups. Sea Breakers. That's a fantastic game. Thanks, Wayne, for running that. John Caldwell, seems like mashups spur creativity and fun. Well, it's definitely like a little tongue-in-cheek, right? It doesn't take itself too seriously. Sometimes, right? Weird Wars, like, Savage Worlds Weird Wars. Call of Cthulhu, right? Those aren't tongue-in-cheek games necessarily. Smurfs meet Cthulhu. Yeah, for sure. My ear trumpet. Is Viktor Gorshev bringing modern military weapons to Shadowdark a mashup? Maybe. Bring two fan groups together, says John. Indeed. The Muppets Take Innsmouth was awesome. Miss Piggy ended up feasting on frog legs. Oh, spoilers. Oh, I bet. Jeff Watkins says, Torg Eternity's all mashup. Earth is covered by different genre-based realities. Imagine Indiana Jones fighting Dracula or cyberpunk witches against dinosaurs. Yeah. Who says it depends? Indeed. Kristen, I'm brainstorming a Star Wars con game using a Cold City rules. Rebels with competing agendas in a boiling pot situation. OD&D was a mashup. Was it a mashup of fantasy RPG and chainmail? Orcus Dorcas, yes. Played and run plenty of mashups, mostly genre off the top of my head. IP mashups can be pretty cheesy or forced, but sometimes can work. Would love an official Predator versus Alien RPG. They should do a movie. That movie would kick ass. I'm shitting diamonds over here for ideas. Todd, mashups that end up combining subgenre that have parallels are really fun. That's how High Plains Samurai came about. We mashed up all our fave genres together in the ultimate stress test. I have that game. Morning, Eileen. Good to see you. I just picked up Land of Eam. Its tagline is Lord of the Rings crossed with the Muppets. I saw that recently. Not for me, but I know of it. This guy Sean's talking about sounds awesome. I should post pictures. I have him in like full, and he had like more than one Gene Simmons outfit. One, he came with the armor, and then one was just like, I don't know if he called it the Gene Simmons fan. Like he was like a jean jacket with the Kiss, like a huge embroidered Kiss patch on the back of a jean jacket. But when he did the armor, he had the walking boots, and I think they lit up. Dude, he was off the hook. Off the hook. Cypher System white books are ripe for mashups, but I have yet to indulge. I think Shadowrun is one of the one that I know I've played. Yeah. There's also the Strange, where players are constantly changing genre, which is kind of close. Yeah, for sure. I would say. I ran Cypher, superheroes, space, sci-fi with a hint of the Strange, which is also a pretty dope mashup. Numenera is a mashup. There we go. Kermie needs more cocktail sauce. What are some wild mashups that haven't been done yet? How about the joy of painting elder signs? Oh, yeah, I like it. What? This guy, Fraser. Good to see you, man. Hope you all is well. I played Samurai. Woohoo! Canada represent. Favorite movies: The Valley of Gwangi, Cowboys and Dinosaurs for the win. Tried mashing up Escape from New York and Adventure Time once. Escape from Wizard City. It failed. It failed badly. It's cool, Jim. Upcoming cipher book Gunslinger Knights is definitely a mashup too. I will say this. I am not a fan of mashups. It's kind of weird, right? Like, I don't get the twitch, but I'm not a fan. Like, Pathfinder with guns bothers me. It's weird. But would I run a one shot with, like, you know, I like, well, I mean, people have talked, I've mentioned this before. I like mixing Star Wars with Inglourious Bastards, right? The gap is not too far, in my opinion, because it's really about, you know, it's this, I mean, Star Wars is kind of similar to World War II, right? To some degree. So the leap is not, right? That the gap is not that far and wide. The guy Sean is referring to is a guy that I want to game with. Sounds like a riot. He is. He's a riot of a person and a game master. I just wish I knew where he was and what he was doing. Blades in the Antique Roadshow. Hey-o. Look at Tim. Just put them all out there. Jim says, I did it for roll for shoes, so there wasn't a lot of mechanical support, which would be fine, except 2 of the 3 players weren't very familiar with either source. Well, that's, like, how important is it? Right? To understand the mashup or the kind of combination. If you run Ghostbusters meets the Goonies, if you didn't grow up in the 80s, now Ghostbusters has more recent films, but, you know, there's later generations that are like, huh? Who are the Goonies? Bunch of kids? So what? Fraser says, I once tried to mash up a Mission Impossible with the Authority and turned out to be top secret with Next Wave. Oh, gosh. Yeah, gosh. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is a favorite. There you go. I've not heard of that one. Top Secret, the movie. Oops. I gotcha. Wayne, D&D is a mashup. Medieval fantasy and Western tropes. Oh, I suppose maybe. I think it's a bit of a stretch, Wayne. I'm just saying. Is playing D&D in a modern setting a mashup or homebrew? I would. Well, it's like what the Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court, right? Like the night. There's a group. There was some ideas that I was thinking of, like, say you had a medieval D&D group. Well, I mean, Spelljammer could be a mashup, right? But D&D in space. But say you had a adventuring party and all of a sudden they land on a planet, or they go through a portal and then they end up in a planet that's more science fiction than fantasy. You know, the stupid module that has the spaceship in it, right? Which one is it? I can't remember the module name. Oh, you guys are going to kill me. Hello Kitty 2020. Wait, that's just real life Japan. Hey-o. I like mixing up genre, says Jim. But I'm less keen on mixing specific IPs, except maybe as funny one shot every once in a while. I'm with you, Jim. Would you call Planescape mashup? I don't know enough about Planescape. I know of it, but I've never played it. It's Planescape, Dark Sun. I know Dark Sun a little bit too. I don't know. Maybe. The tone of Inglourious Bastards set in Star Wars Galaxy. Does a different tone count as a mashup? I mean, maybe. I would say maybe. It depends. Like, it depends. Some people will say no, and some people will say yes. I think it would. Because if you're going to pitch it as that, then I think it's a mashup. If it's like, you take this and you take this, that's what the game is, right? Then I think there's a mashup. If you're just going to say, we're going to play D&D, we're going to play Shadowrun, it's like its own thing. It's its own thing. David S. Pumpkins. At what point does a mashup turn into a kitchen sink setting? 3 sources? 5? Yeah. D&D in a modern setting is just monster of the week. Oh. Whoa. Yeah, but it isn't monster of the week, Buffy. Well, that's like, hey, you play, I don't know, like D&D. If you were playing D&D and then you put them in Barovia, is that a mashup? Like Strahd? It's like horror and fantasy, kinda, right? Barrier Peak. Thanks, Ryan. I knew you guys would help me out. All I got to do is like say a couple words and you're like, it's like name that tune. I can name Sean's thought in 2 words. It is, yeah. Expedition of the Barrier Peaks. Ah. Mike says, I'm writing a game that is basically a mashup of mashups. What? Dude, that sounds meta. It's Weird West and Shadowrun. It's like if Shadowrunners did jobs in Weird West setting. Head explodes. Rage quit, rage flip table. I feel like the holodeck is broken again. Episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation are mashups? Are mashups. Yeah? I think, yeah, for sure. Right? When they set the episode in the holodeck, I don't like those. I'm not fans of those. Since we're poking at the fabric of reality, isn't Star Wars itself a mashup? Yeah. Or even like the Magnificent Seven? No, probably not. They say it's like based on the Seven Samurai, right? But I don't think that's a mashup. I think it's like its own thing. The Rail Warrior, Thomas the Engine plus Mad Max. Oh, good God. Tim is on a tear. Mike says, is everything basically a mashup to some degree? No, Mike. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe. Sort of. I think some are more than others. We'll say that. There's degrees. Sword Noir. It's hard-boiled detective plots and sword and sorcery settings with the characters being a mix of both. Yeah. And there's also like Forbeck has one, right? Shotguns and sorcery. I'm not getting a lot of rage in the chat. So either people are like, they have either they're bounced or they're like, must not type. Or as Harrigan would say, who is not here today, would say, are you trying to get our blood boiling? I think it was more like, are you trying to get us angry or something to that effect? Twice Baked Potatoes, Universal RPG mashup system. Hey-o. Twice Baked Potato. Galarian. All the flavors of fantasy settings plus Starfinder. Is it? Galarian, yes. You know what I was thinking was Glorantha. That's the one. But yes, Galarian, which is, yeah, for sure. It's Pathfinder in space. Good point, Gabe. Yeah. Or we all just like mashups. Or we all just like mashups. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Or we find an interesting place for them, right? Since when have you seen us not type while in a rage? All the tone. I just, like, you guys type in rage and I just think it's all happy fun games. It's happy fun ball. Todd Crapper RPGs is a medium or mashup of communal storytelling and board games. Well, okay. So Matt Harrigan and Laramie aren't here to tell me how wrong I am. Oh, snap. Shots fired. I make a lot of corporate Mega Dungeon jokes. Moria plus The Office, but I don't think I can turn it into an actual game. Yeah. That's another thing. You play Office Cthulhu. That would be a good con game, right? You print out the characters of The Office and you run it in D20 Cthulhu. I think that would be hilarious. Mech Souls Battletech in the Dark Souls universe. Do not taunt. That's right. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. That's right. That's a classic. Happy Fun Ball. That and a few other ones. Happy Fun Ball. Woot woot. Harrigan would be venting if here. I can only imagine this is too near his gonzo hate. He needs to loosen up a little bit, right? Hey, Wayne, our Thursday night group. I don't know if he'll see this after it's live streamed. We should, like on an off week, we'll go, yeah, we're going to play Mothership. And then it's like hand out character sheets. And they're like the Muppets. Without him knowing. Yeah, we're going to play Mothership. I steal liberally from tons of sources when creating scenarios. Every game I run is some kind of mashup, says Jeff. Yeah, okay. Speaking of a Jeff. Actually, it's called The Laundry, Sean. Ah, yes. Not to be mistaken for Orcus's Dirty Clothes, but The Laundry, the RPG, is a mashup, right? Yeah. Nubis, not against mashups at all, just never ran one or played in one. Really? I think. Love dumb one-shots, though. Oh, Nubis, we gotta get a mashup. Wayne, let's do it. Right? Like, he's mentioned like, well, on our off week, Sean, you could do this because you've got probably some things in the back of your pocket like Shadowdark, and then we could do like Phil can do the One Ring, right? So one of those off weeks. We were at the edge of the dungeon when the potion started to kick in. Fear and Loathing in Undermountain. Oh, Tim's on fire. Tim's on a genre train. Can't stop it. Playing Muppet Ship. Muppet Ship. We need more mashups at cons. They're not seen very often. One shots. Come on, people. We need more creativity. I'm going to run, like, for example, I'm running Shadowdark at Game Hookon. I'm going to run Shadowdark, Crypt of the whatever king. Okay, everybody, here's Shadowdark. Okay, this is Shadowdark, and you're like in darkness, and you got a torch, and here's your equipment. Okay, let's amp that shit up to 11. Let's get some freaking Muppets in there. Let's Muppet this bitch up. There's a good email-based Cthulhu horror game when there's some horrible thing in the company kitchen and everyone is trying to push off inspecting the problem or someone else. All right. And Harrigan has to play Gonzo. Hey, Wayne, case in point, man, he liked the Breakers game. He really enjoyed it. He liked playing Bronco. He talks about wanting to play Bronco all the time. He wouldn't be able to play Bronco in, like, Outcast Silver Raiders. Muppet Ship. Huh? Pigs in Space. Muppet Ship, Pigs in Space. There it is. Ryan got it. Ryan got it before I did. Yes. Oh, man, I forgot about Grandmothership. Oh, that's supposed to be a mashup of Mothership and Brindlewood Bay. Yes. Right. Arrogant seems more suited as Sam the Eagle. All right, we can't talk too much about him when he's not here to defend himself. I mean, I can because I got the mic, but love you, Harrigan. Jerry Camacho. Good to see you, Jerry. Gary's his middle name. Just kidding, Jerry. Maybe it is. Duck, Goose. Howard the Duck. Metagaming. Plus the Mighty Ducks. Animated series. Not combat. Hockey. Plus futuristic D&D world where an evil goose hag tries to rebirth herself from her own egg. This is why I need you guys. Jerry, this is why I need you in the chat. Flash Gordon equal mashup? All sorts of stuff in it. Yeah. Yeah, Pigs in Space meets Mothership. Huh? All right, delayed the start of the workday long enough. All right, see you, Todd. Many of these fantastic ideas linger in our heads throughout the day. Once again, another great show. Thanks, Todd. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you would be so kind. John says, a con is a perfect place for mashup. You're right. Yeah, man. And people love it. They will, like, as long as if you put on a good production, they'll love it. You'll get people that do it. Carl Kiesler, he does do great production, but it's a good mashup. Like Sharknado and all this stuff, which, like, it's just top notch. Monster of the Week in 70 Germany Cold War. Tinker Tailor Monster Spy. Worked great. Agents versus Soviet Necromancers. There's the crowdfunding campaign I just get in on. What is it? Hot War, Cold City. Cold City, Hot War. Cold War, Hot City. which I got into because I'm big. I like espionage in the Cold War era, but it's got a horror background, right? So it's like espionage meets that. Delta Green, I wouldn't say, because it's kind of Call of Cthulhu, and you could have a espionage bend to it, but I don't. It's not really that. Like as much as, I should say. Request a mashup channel on BS Landia. Okay. Here's my take. I think we should start it as a thread. And if the thread never dies, then I'm open to having it as a channel. Maybe. This is a good one, Kristen. Tip of the hat, Ryan, got here first. Yeah, I did. Throne of Games, competitive team-based board game tournament league. Yeah. Although they do have a Game of Thrones board game. 8th grade. Hey, Daryl. 8th grade did a mashup of contemporary fiction in my hometown. Real people we knew, cops, teachers, etc. for NPCs. Hooked 5 new players to become longtime gamers. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, here. Flash board, because why not? Oh, well, any board game, right? Old Gods of Appalachia is Eldritch Horror plus Appalachian folklore, which I run frequently. So there we go. There you go. See? You played a run mashup and you didn't really know it. Shadowrun is one too, but there you go, Eileen. Jeff, morning. Another Jeff. We pay homage to Jeffs. All Jeffs are welcome here. Did someone finally do Burke, the Mork Borg Swedish Chef mashup? Should it be Borg? Bork. Oh crap, I almost forgot Night's Black Agents. Yeah, there you go. Right? Was that a mashup, Sean? It's when you describe something like, it's like Jason Bourne meets Vampire Hunters. Or that whenever you have to qualify it as that, I think it's a mashup. I think it's like, right? So what's Shadowrun? Well, it's like fantasy. It's like cyberpunk with fantasy characters. In the grim darkness of the far future, there are only ponies. Warhorse 40K. You're good with creating a shrine to Jeff's. There we go. We got it. All right. We're right at the hour. We're going to call it there for the main discussion. Thank you so much for everybody for participating. I'm going to run through some of the news, crowdfunding campaigns, print news in the next few minutes. Rapid like. Thank you so much for participating in today's discussion. I appreciate it. Some good mashups out there. Deadland. We've named a few. We've named like con games are pretty good. We've come up with new ones. So considering doing a mashup, don't take it too seriously. Like sometimes we got to break loose of the serious game. It's serious. Okay. Everybody's serious. Let's come on now. Okay. We're going to here. Not you, Siri. Okay. It's like real serious, guys. Okay, like no messing around. Okay, so this Goonies ain't the Ghostbusters. It's my actually. There you go. All right, let's get into RPG news, shall we? RPG news. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but let's just do something here. I don't know what we're gonna do here. First one up: shipping and fulfillment strategies for creators facing tariff changes. Hey, lead into the news, bringing it all back. Kickstarter put it out. So delivering rewards just got more complex. Here's how to manage shipping, tariffs, and fulfillment. I think BackerKit put in a calculator to help determine hey, here's some things that you can mess around with to determine some of the costs. So Kickstarter just put this out on 3 days ago of this recording, 16th of April, 2025. So there you go. If you want to know a little bit more, especially if you're going to do crowdfunding specifically on Kickstarter, and even if it's not on Kickstarter, get educated, folks. It's not easy out there. I put this in the Discord. After 2 years of community distrust, D&D releases its new SRD on April 22nd. A few days from now, it's going to be Creative Commons, which is interesting, right? 3 core books have been out for a while. Nobody knows what it's going to look like. They did this with 4th edition. and like prolonged, and then they put out a non-SRD OGL license, spur up Pathfinder. So I bet you there is like people in that company that are like fighting this tooth and nail, but they had to cave. I don't know if that's the case, but they put it out there. So on April 22nd, Wizards of the Coast will release its new system reference doc for the newer edition, 2024 edition, allowing third-party designers to create D&D under a Creative Commons license. There you go. If you want to know more, read all about it. But it's kind of something to know whether you're playing 5e or not. Steve Jackson Games CEO Meredith Placco is resigning. So she's stepping down as of yesterday of this recording, looking to focus instead on Shadowdark, which I'm not familiar with. But anyways, that's what she's doing. According to Board Game Wire, which first broke the story, the moves come after months of deep reflection, she says. Placco's tenure as CEO at Steve Jackson began 2 years ago in 2023 when Placco stepped into the role after Phil Reed's departure. He puts out crowdfunding, and I've backed a bunch of Phil's stuff. Under Placco, Steve Jackson Games saw success in the form of the Munchkin Big Box Kickstarter, which raised more than $1.3 million, and the addition of Possum Creek Games as a TTRPG reprint, along with the designer and editorial director Jay Dragon joining SJG as lead game designer. So Placco was one of the first big tabletop industry figures to speak out about the negative impact of the Trump tariffs, which they did. They were one of the first ones that put out like a statement about tariffs, even before they were like enacted. Since the beginning of the month, countless more have joined in. Right? So the departure seems sudden, but has been building for months, as Board Game Wire reports. Quote, this decision, it was not made lightly and came after months of deep reflection. I'm proud of the work I've done and so grateful for the talented people I've had the chance to work with. It's been meaningful, challenging, and creatively fulfilling chapter in my career. Some typos in there. I remain passionate about the industry, but it's time I turn my attention back to the company my husband and I founded together, end quote. So there, Shadowdark is still in tabletop space. It's a manufacturer of premium quality metallic paints and 80 colors in its arsenal. So there you go. It's probably why I don't know, because I don't do a lot of miniature painting anymore. Oh, she was also recently elected to a 2-year term representing publishers on Gamma's board. So there you go. Well, wish her the best of luck, and thanks for all the work at Steve Jackson Games, Meredith. So, now hiring Steve Jackson Games, position CEO. There you go. Another one, $1.2 million, not to beat this dead horse, in cephalofair games, stranded in China. Going back to like, what are we, it's like sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time away. Other publishers warn on price increases, board game tariff news roundup with a big bend on board games. So if you want to see that from ICV2 and you want to just doom scroll, hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. Let's get into bundles. I didn't see this one till recently, but if you want sounds for adventure, there's a tabletop RPG audio bundle on Humble Bundle. I get all these genre-specific music audio that you can get for, looks like about maybe just around $30. Donations go to care.org. So if you're looking for some mood music, check that out. Defiant. Anybody play Defiant? Defiant, modern supernatural aristocratic role-playing. Mashup? Question mark? Bing. I don't know. Be the master of your domain with this new Defiant bundle. Tabletop role-playing is supernatural aristocrats ruling modern-day holdings. Defiant's an urban set fantasy of mighty supernaturals who rebelled against destiny and, instead of destroying the world, decided to protect it. There you go. Check it, check it, check it, check it, check, check. And the last bundle, I put this out on the Discord in case you haven't read it or you want to reread it or you want it in digital. The Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan's 17 books in this collection. Now you could get this for a total of like less than like for 25-ish. And then the proceeds go to the, some of the proceeds go to the ACLU. So not RPG, but fantasy. That may be some inspiration of some of your games. Plenty of people have appreciated my Robert Jordan's series, which is not easy to get through, just due to the the thickness of the books and the smalling of the print. That's all I have for crowdfunding, folks. Let's get into print news. Print news. We'll head over to the world of EN. First one up, Adventurers Armory, Monstrous Armory, War Mounts, Trollord Games. For Castles and Crusades. Next one, Dagger in the Heart by Rowan Rook and Descartes. Heart, the City Beneath is the system. Next one, The Stone Flesh Gift by Atypical Foch for Mothership. Softcover adventure. PCs wade through the innards of a lost ceremonial offering, an ancient alien bioengineering factory and living ship called The Gift. PCs traverse the organs of the Gift, a ship that eats and breathes and feels their clumsy boots plodding about within it. Oof. There's some cool maps there. Next one, Wild Space Outpost number 1, Jungle Checkpoint. Wild Space Outpost number 2, Shattered Gate. Wild Space Outpost number 3, Warriors Enclave. Wild Space Outpost number 4, all the way to number 5. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I think I should have a character that sounds like it. Sorry, folks, park's closed. Moose out front should have told you. System sci-fi or sci-fantasy RPGs battle maps, $5 each. Oh, I skipped. Here it is. Mothership, this is the one. Then underneath it, the Wild Space Outpost with all these maps. Yeah. Hiccups in the stream. Hiccups in the stream. We are who we are. Do a refresh, Orcus Dorcas. It'll fix your problem. Sail away with me. Anyways, there you go, folks. You asked for it, you got it. A little singing, a little song, a little dance. Next one, Cathedral of Hope. Lost Eons by Lost Bay Studio. This one is for Eco-Mofos. Mashed together. It says right here, mashed together. 24XX and Blades in the Dark. Hey-oh. Softcover zine, and then a 3-zine core rules collection. Last one, Adult Black Dragon Corruptor by WizKids. System, Monster Manual 2025 edition. Can't use it in anything else. There you go. That's all I have for print news. Let's get into crowdfunding, and then let's get the hell out of here, shall we? Bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. Step into Antagaric. Free Kickstart for Heroes of Might and Magic Tabletop RPG now available. Modifius is going to put this out on crowdfunding. So if you are old and have played Heroes of Might and Magic, then this will ring a bell. Used to be a computer game series for those that don't know about it. Now you could experience it in a brand new way. Well, kind of. So there you go. Quick Start is coming. Is it out? Yeah. It has been released. You can get the Quick Start now. So this video game was like out in 1995. So kids, if you were born after that, You want to check it out. The RPG probably looks better. 62-page quick start, now available to download. Introductory guide includes descriptions of sample nations, character classes, iconic units, a selection of pre-generated heroes ready for immediate play, an introductory scenario. The Crulad Frontier is designed to immerse players in the world, and then all the essential rules needed to play through the scenario, including mechanics for leading your first battle. Is it 2D20? Modifius? Anybody know? Might and Magic dates in the mid-'80s, I think. Oh, yeah, it's for sure earlier. Is this 2D20? Everybody know? It doesn't say. I don't think it says. Oh, it is. Well, Might and Magic 2D20. Yep, 2D20. It is. Thanks, Gabe. It is. It is 2D20. There you go. Gabe, you getting in on this? Are you going to check it out? Have you gotten the quick start rules? Inquiring minds want to know. Come on, Gabe. Gabe? Anyone? Gabe? Come on, Gabe. Tell me, Gabe. Next up, in-world crowdfunding. All these campaigns are either coming to an end or are at an end. First one, Tome of Intangible Treasures 2, Hunter's Guide to Rituals, from Lone Colossus Games on Backer Kit. It's for the Ds and Ds. Either version 2014 and 2024. Oh, man. Knights of the Dinner Table, Codex of Many Tales from Kenzer and Company comic book. $100 is the common pledge. This thing's funded at $63K of a $10K goal. In case you missed out on their first one in the mid-'90s, Jolly Blackburn is reprinting first 25 issues of Knights of the Dinner Table in handsome hardback tome. So if you're a fan of the comic, there you go. Next, Bitter Chalice, a map-based Souls-like TTRPG from the World Anvil Publishing. It's an original system, core rulebook. 115 euros is the most popular pledge. If you exist in a fallen city overrun with despair and desperation, one that you can't escape, but you can take dangerous jobs to improve your lot. Giving the city campaign a new meaning, the world is dark and deadly. It's a box set. 49,000 euros of a 8,000 euro goal. So escape the mudfields. Okay, that's all what's enlisted. Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Elden Ring. Oh, if you're a fan of, that's where it is. If you're a fan of Hollow Knight, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and Elden Ring, this campaign may speak to you. Next one, Broadsword Guide. Wow, it's like a weird, it almost looks like a Broadsword Guide to the negative energy plane. It's because of the weird font with that. Anyways, that's just me. Is it just me? 5th edition. Keep it alive, man. 5e, dude, forever. 5e forever. I need to get a shirt like that. 5e forever, dude. Backer kit. $25 for the PDFs. And then this one I mentioned before a little earlier in the campaign. So free 5e, a free open source D&D alternative from Wormworks Publishing, which is really a lot of it's very much catered to accessibility because they want to, this is their kind of, their push to get it to as many people as possible. Like digital braille, they're talking about markdown, plain text, dyslexia-friendly PDFs. So there you go. That's funded. Lemurian Chronicles from Barbarians. It's a supplement for Barbarians of Lemuria. Volume 1 from Ludospheric. It's funded at 16,000 euros of a 10,000 euro goal. Would you guys not back these print because of the current landscape? I mean, it's got to affect some of these, but they're still funding, right? Can you imagine now we're going to have the European RPG scene, the Asian RPG scene, the American RPG scene, the Canadian, Brazilian, insert, right? We already kind of do anyway, but now it's I don't know. Tariffs. Freaking tariffs, man. Anyways, that's it, folks. Whoops. Where am I going here? I want to thank everybody here for supporting the show, either through Patreon or here on YouTube. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining the chat today. Much appreciated about the talks on tariffs and what things are going on in the mashup discussion. Always fantastic to have you guys here. Very much appreciated. Stream here every Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time. I'll be here next week. I don't know, topic to be determined. We'll see. If you have any ideas, put them down below or go to the Discord and feel free to share them. I'm always interested to hear what you guys may want to talk about and discuss what's like in the back of your brain and would like to discuss it with other gamers. Let me know. Go forth and mash. Yeah, indeed, says Tim. Indeed. But otherwise, have a great weekend. Do play some games. Be a positive force in tabletop RPG hobby. And I will see you on the next one. See ya.